Yo, what's up guys, it's Talon, and today we're going to be coaching a Challenger Peak player who got Challenger mostly playing like with friends and then wanted, to kind of learn how to play solo after they got stuck around Master last season with solo. In this, they're a mid laner. We're really going to be talking a lot about roaming and understanding kind of champion strengths rather than just playing every champion kind of the same or playing for lane. So a lot of lane phase tips on how to create roam opportunities and put yourself in a good position. And then also, we talk a lot about the mid game, understanding where to be on the map and when, how to get additional gold, that type of thing. So if you're interested in that, obviously stick around for the video. If you're interested in getting coached by me, a rank 1 solo queue player, just DM me on Discord, Talon1169, or through the link in the description to my Discord server. It's just $25 an hour for coaching, and let's get right into it.
So, and did do not disturb. Okay. Yeah, I don't receive too many notifications on my iPad, but it's okay. Just to
I
make
just
sure.
want to make sure. So yeah, what's your like peak rank and current rank and stuff?
Well, my peak rank is Challenger. Um, you can see my screen, right?
Yes, I see it.
Well, I have written a lot of stuff because I have so many questions. But um, first of all, I reached the Challenger on the 16th season.
Yeah.
So last season, the 17 was horrible for me because I was really frustrated because I just reached Master.
Yeah.
Uh, and that is because the 16 season I play a lot with my team because I created like a guild and
Yeah.
I play a lot with my friends too often, and I get really used to play with some people, and by the start of the 17 season, I wanted to I test myself and improve in solo queue because I really watched a lot of your videos, and I really got motivated to improve by solo queuing, and I tried to do that, and it was really hard for me. I got really
Gotcha.
frustrated
Yeah.
at the point of leaving the game and start playing League of Legends instead of Wild Rift.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, that's pretty the summary of what happened last season. I got like really bad stats. The this 17 season, I used to have like a win rate not below the 50%. But well, in overall, I have like 51, and I see your scores and all your win rates are really impressive. And now I have like 34 matches only,
Yeah.
but I just can't
Do you want to
go
click
up.
on, by the way, the top right, the three little like bar things? Click that. Yeah.
Yes.
I just want to see this. And then go to the champion in lane, and then click the top right, or like the middle right rather, like the leaderboard looking thing, like the pedestal or whatever it's called, where you can look at
Uh,
your champions. Yeah.
this
And
one?
then season 18. I just want to see like what we're playing and how things are
Oh,
going.
okay, yeah. I
Um.
started playing Go
Yeah.
because of your videos because I was used to main more enchanters like Airy. Well, Airy is kind of more assassin, but I really played a lot with Airy,
Yeah.
and Lux is not here,
So
but
you playing mostly mid or mostly jungle?
mid, a lot of mid.
Okay.
Actually, I'm not like a really good jungler, but I wanted to start doing more jungler rather than super because I was playing like super in the meantime. But because I play with a team, I really used to only play just one lane. I wasn't used to like have this times that the game autofills you every time,
Yeah.
and I was like very used to only play mid and like solo queuing sends me to top lane to jungler to AD carry
Yeah.
whatever the game wants to send you. So that is another thing that it really frustrates me,
So
right?
are we gonna
Like
do coaching on mid then, or on
yeah,
jungle?
yeah.
Mid.
Of
Okay.
course, mid is the
Okay.
most important.
Got it. So a couple things quickly, and then we'll just go on the replay. We can talk more in there. But the main thing is I see that you're playing way too many champions. Again, if the goal is to climb versus the goal is to have fun, that's different. I'm obviously here to tell you how to climb. So in terms of climbing, you should be choosing max like 3 champions really to climb with. and sticking to those rather than playing so many champions. Like you've just played too many different champions. So I would say that's the first thing. Whatever champions we're doing coaching on probably might be good ones to stick to. But yeah, that's kind of the first thing. But we can go into the replay then and kind of see from there.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah, I was actually doing that like a couple of years ago, but I got like very frustrated, and I was like trying to compose some matchups, and that didn't work at all.
Yeah.
So playing like a lot of Ari and Lux was the main thing that got me to Challenger. But this 16th season, I just tried to explore with new champs, and that was really hard for me.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, we can go into the replay and kind of go from there. Also, 1 second. I'll be back in like 10 seconds.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm back. So.
Okay. Well, I don't know where to start. You tell
we
me.
can just go to the replay, I think. Good to go.
Okay. Okay. Well, I have this matchup from yesterday that I tried to go with Echo. I don't want to show you like the winner. I mean, the champion I wanted to coach the most is for Echo. I really like that champion. But I played today with Eri, and I really solo carry a lot. But I don't want us to watch that. I think that I don't have like too many questions from it. But I think that the Echo match is the better.
Yeah, you take cleanse here. I think that's fine because they have Ash, Seraphine, Rise, whatever. You went Lich Bane, Infinity Orb, Soul Stealer. Go Lich Bane, Infinity Orb, Death Cap, Crown, Soul Stealer. I'll write it down for you again. We'll write notes out at the end, so you can remind me about the build if I don't mention it.
Okay.
But yeah, just typically we want Death Cap third, so that's kind of the first initial thing.
Okay.
And then yeah, a lot of times Echo's kind of gonna take advantage. Also, sorry, pause real quick. And then top right, the 3 little bars, click that, and then click Fog of War. Make it blue, like click the blue eye. This way we'll see what you would see in the game. So
yeah, of course, yeah.
But yeah, we can go from there. So, I mean, typically, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I saw this match that the Rise was doing like too much damage. He isn't nerfed yet, right?
He's nerfed, yeah, if that's what you mean. But he's a strong champ, yeah, like he was nerfed a while ago. Main thing to understand for like these types of matchups against a champion that's strong early is you don't want to use your first ability like that to kind of push the minions, because then if he plays properly, he can freeze you and punish you for walking up. So like in general right now, he's playing it poorly, but if he plays properly, he would punish you for walking up like that, and you would probably, you would lose the trade pretty hard. So what we prefer to do is kind of just use our first ability just to last hit the initial minions when they get lower health. Whereas what you did here is what you want to do into like weaker early game champ. So if you're into like a Veigar or, you know, someone who you just like know you're not really going to struggle into level 1, that's fine. But a champ like Rise probably could pressure you a lot harder level 1. So we'd rather let him kind of push into us and then trade more once we hit level 2 on like some type of, you know, on killing the minions, for example, if he gives us an opportunity. Otherwise, we're more so just looking to get our first initial back off to get mana boots, and then to find a lot more like roam angles after that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. So you're telling me that you prefer like roaming rather than trying to win the lane against him?
Yeah, and that's going to be the case for the most part when you're playing Echo mid lane. You're not necessarily looking to lane. Like this champion, the OP part about Echo is his first ability clears the waves really, really fast. So you use that to create roam opportunities, but the problem is level 1, when you did it like that, he could just walk up at you and then trade with you, and he would freeze on you because you pushed the wave. So you don't want the wave to be pushing, like basically you don't want the wave to be lower health than your wave, unless you're confident that you're going to win the trades if they walk up and try to punish you, or you know you can kill the wave fast enough to then get a level advantage and then trade on that level advantage. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
And I see here you wanted to ward. I don't mind warding if we do get pryos. So here you had pryos, so you warded. That's fine. Again, we shouldn't have technically had prio, but since you did, I'm totally fine with that. And then so again here, yeah, your goal pretty much I like the trade. I think you did a fine trade there. Your goal pretty much is to just get this lane pushed. Again, so like you just use your first ability, you push
yeah.
it. Yeah.
I saw that like I did like a good trade there, but
Yeah.
Rice has so much damage that he like back with a lot of damage.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I'm telling you, like, these types of champions are going to be hard for you to actually trade into, and you kind of see there, you know, and again, a lot of it is just due to the fact that you're over pushing, basically, which again is the same thing that I have in level 1. So main issue here is just we're trying too hard to get prio into matchups that aren't super favorable for us, whereas what you prefer to do, is ideally you let him push into you level 1, you eventually just clear the wave, you know, like a normal person would do. Level 2, he's probably going to push into you as well, like the next wave. And then the wave after that, if it gets frozen in front of your turret, you can then very easily get level 4 off that wave and then trade with him there once you're up a level. But if you're not up a level, then you're just going to clear the wave pretty simply. Once you clear the wave that gives you mana boots, you recall on mana boots, and then you just play to push and roam. So basically, like, the simple thing to take away from that is... I don't know what my mind is blanking, but basically the simple thing to take away is if we're in a lane that's hard, we don't really need to play to trade, we just play to push as much as possible and roam. But if we over push, then they're going to punish us, basically.
Okay.
And so again here, like, I'm fine with what you're doing here, but then you trade. So you trade down a level, right?
Yeah.
So this is the other thing, you need to be trading when you're up levels, never trading when you're down levels, because then things like this are going to happen. And you're just trying way too hard to lane, basically. Like,
I
think
think
doesn't want to lane.
I think that's one of my main problems because it's hard for me to see everything in the match. Like I try to analyze everything and all the stuff, and I sometimes forgot to watch the level. I mean, and that's a problem.
And so that's going to be some basic like habits that we're going to want to build up, which again, as I talked about many times in my videos, basically we want to find 1 or 2, maybe 3 things to improve on at a time, not more than that. Just focus on that, then move on to the next thing. So right now with your initial lane phase, the first thing you need to understand is level advantages. Trade when you have a level advantage, don't trade when you're down a level, very straightforward. The second thing is finding proper recall timers. Again, just make sure we're pushing, you know, before or right when we're about to get mana boots, recalling there. If we do those 2 things, we're already going to have a lot better of a time. And then understand as Echo, you're not actually trying to lane as Echo. The only time that you actually want to trade as Echo is when the enemy give you an opportunity to proc your passive. Do you know what your passive is? Like the 3 hits?
Like the 3 hits you can run faster.
Yeah, you get bonus damage. So basically, if they give you an opportunity to take one of those trades, you can take the trade to get like EQ, you know, or whatever, right? And you get 3 autos. Slash abilities. If you're not in a position to get that never trade, just clear the wave, clear the wave, clear the wave, and it's pretty much that simple. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Cool.
I
just ask makes sense to make sure that people, you know, are following.
Yeah. No, it's totally clear. Thanks.
And yeah, again, you're also trading, like in general, you were trading earlier when you're also lower health, which again, the goal is kind of to roam. And obviously Ryze, he actually likes roaming a lot as well because of his global ultimate. And so since he's able to have prio on you, he's kind of able to out roam a lot. Whereas if we weren't trading as hard, we'd be able to use the fact that we're like actually, you know, even health or whatever to push the wave and then be able to roam and match his roams.
Do you recommend me like study all the champions because I don't know like the whole specific abilities and how to match up like I don't know if Echo is strong to whatever champion it is. So sometimes
the problem is right now you don't play a lot of Echo. You played mainly like Ahri. Like I assume when you play Ahri, you probably know how the matchup's gonna go most of the time, right? Like you know which matchup is good and bad mostly. Am I right?
Yeah, sure.
So this is why playing few champions is good because then you learn the matchup really specifically. However, obviously like the more you know the champions how they work, the better. Obviously, but this isn't what is the big problem for you. The problem is not champion understanding or understanding how Ryze works. The problem is you're just trading on fundamentally bad timers. You were trading right here when you were level 5 to level 6. You were also trading when there was a wave that was pushing into you, which meant you're going to take damage from the wave while you trade, and the wave is then, if you lose the trade, you're going to lose the wave under your turret like you did here where you lost a minion. So the issue for you right now is not champion understanding. If you don't know how a champion works and you're confused by it, go watch a video of it. That's useful. But the main things that you need to do, again, to simplify as much as possible so we have very, very straightforward concepts to improve on, are we need to understand that we only want to trade either when we're able to get a really easy passive proc or when we're able to be ahead on a level, minimum even on a level. And then we just want to use our W like you did here. So notice how you just used your W. I want you to use your W. Do you know what I mean when I say W, by the way? Like instead of second ability?
Yeah,
Okay,
circle.
so when you use your W, you use it to get yourself to clear a wave because it gives you a big ass shield, really hard for the enemy to trade with you. So you just use it on the wave when the wave is coming, and then you Q the wave, and at that point the wave is going to be really low, and then you use the fact that you have a health lead, wait for your Q to come up again, Q the wave a second time, and then boom, you get to roam. Does that make sense? So like here, for example, if you were higher health because you didn't lose a trade earlier, you could have W'd the wave, and then you could have Q'd it, and then again you Q it one more time, and now boom, you get to roam. So notice how you've been in the game for 4 minutes and 36 seconds, and you have not yet roamed once. Echo is a champion where that wants to roam a lot. Pause here again. Okay, so it didn't matter in the end, so we don't need to pause. But basically, you tried roaming bot side when there was a big wave that was about to come.
Whenever you want, I can put pause.
Yeah, so the point was, about 10 seconds ago, the wave was about to come to mid, right? Like it was about to come. We could see it on the map that it was coming.
Yeah.
And you tried roaming bot like until they got the kill. You don't want to roam before you push the wave, because then if you roam, the enemy will push the wave, they'll deny you gold, they'll get turret plates, or they'll push it and then they'll get to roam themselves and they get a gold advantage. So we want to make sure that, again, the basic fundamental thing, we push and then we roam, not the other way around. We don't roam and then push afterwards. So here, instead of trying to roam bot side, right when you did at 440 or whatever, you push this mid wave and then you look for a roam, and typically you roam with your jungle. That makes sense?
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, main things here, lane phase, don't over push level 1, just play mostly for wave clear with your first ability. Understand our champion strengths in terms of trading, so only trade around when we're up a level, even level when we have our ability to proc our passive. Use your second ability to clear the wave, so we can then push the wave and roam. And then make sure you push the wave before you roam, and ideally roam with your jungle if possible. Those are really the main things so far. So again, like you did this perfectly here. You see how you use your first ability once, then use second ability, and now you're able to, you see how fast you cleared the wave, but the problem is then you traded after. You did everything right, and then you traded. If you just did that and then you got the fuck out, you recalled and you spent your gold, or you went bot. Notice bot lane, what are they doing right now? They're diving. Imagine you were there, pause again. Scroll over to bot lane right now. Look at that turret. If you were there, you would be getting first turret gold on yourself. Now, obviously, your teammates, it worked anyways, which is great. But let's imagine a different scenario where the enemy jungle was there, right? They have a Nocturne. We don't know where Nocturne is. You could have ulted there. Your teammates wouldn't have won that. But your teammates would have won that if you were there with them, regardless of if Nocturne showed up. So you're basically trying to push your wave, so again, first couple, 2 minutes of the lane phase, your issue was more so that you didn't trade around your passive. You traded when you were down a level, and you kind of over pushed. Your issue from like 2 minutes, onwards to up to here, right, 5 minutes 40 seconds, is that you're too concerned with laning. Push the wave, leave, and then make sure once we push the lane and leave that we come back by the time that the next wave is coming. Be aware of that. But if we can push and then roam and then get here, get this turret for free with our teammates, like that's way more beneficial, even if you did end up getting back to mid lane a little late, so they got a plate because you're getting a first turret. So does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. I think that I didn't want to roam too often because I think that I had so many bad experiences roaming that on certain matches that I really that happened so bad that I really didn't want to roam that often. But I used to roam. So actually, I have that kind of question that I really want to understand what's the perfect timing of roaming, or maybe what's the perfect matchup to roam to, like I don't know how to analyze.
So the simple thing is you can roam if you push your wave, because if you push your wave, a roam not working out isn't a big deal, because if you push your wave, you don't lose anything mid. If you if you die, for example, you're not going to lose a bunch. If you overstay, like they can't do anything. So the first thing is it has to be pushed. That's number one. The second thing is, to make a roam more likely to work out, is that you roam with your jungle, right? That's obviously just another additional thing that helps, because your jungle's there as more people.
Great.
And then, what was that? Sorry.
No, that's great. Like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
good point.
And then the last thing is, or these two are kind of combined, we want one, ideally we're roaming to a stronger lane. So like we don't really want to roam to our Kale that much, for example. We don't have a Kale, just hypothetical, right? If we have a Kale, like it's pretty hard to play around Kale most of the time. And then we
Yeah.
want to roam obviously to like people who are advantaged. So like let's say our dual lane's doing well, you know, let's say they're already
Mhm.
1-0, or in this case your misfortune is 6-0. This is the type of person we want to roam around, you know? Like we want to play
Yeah.
around them. Or
Yeah.
if they're just strong early game champs. So even if they're even gold, maybe they're champions like, you know, Thresh and Draven, where, you know, Thresh can set up really well with ganks, and Draven obviously has a bunch of damage. So basically, again, to reiterate, wave push is first thing, going with jungle, ideally second thing, strong lane third thing, and gank setup as in like, you know, Thresh or some type of CC. Those are the four things. We don't have to have all four present, you know. Maybe our jungler's not there, but we see that there's a low health dual lane and our strong dual lane are pushing them under turret and we can dive them. That's enough, right? Like if we push our wave. But do you understand, like those are kind of the main things that we want to look for?
Yeah, sure. I just have sometimes situations that I have like a really hard matchup, or maybe I'm playing like against a challenger or whatever, like a really good champion, that a really good person that has like a lot of matchups and win rates and whatever, and those kind of games that they play doesn't even let me push the wave, or they have all the advantage always on the
Yeah.
lane. So how with a champion like Echo can you roam if you have like a hard matchup that you
Yeah.
can't even push the wave?
So the way you're going to do this, so obviously if you're losing lane early, naturally it's going to be harder. Naturally you're going to have less opportunities to roam. So the thing that you can do is either you sit in lane and you clear your wave under tower. Echo has good wave clear. If they try to push you under tower, you're going to be able to clear the
Yeah.
wave with your second ability, whatever. So you can go even in that way. But now let's say they push and then they try to roam. So when they roam and then they
No.
push like that, you use, or when they push in the roam, you use that time to be first on the next wave. So instead of trying to go match their roam, try to, you know, do whatever, you want to be first on the next wave. So say that the enemy had roamed on the previous wave, they pushed you under tower, and just now this wave was getting here, and let's say Ryze was like bot lane fighting,
Yeah.
hypothetically, you know, this is the time where you would push this wave. But then
And I
after you
should
push, yeah, go ahead.
and should I push the turret, or like trying to follow the gang that
Yeah,
he's
that's what I was
trying to?
about to, was about to explain. So basically,
Or-
most of the time, after you push it, you're not going to push the tower. Now, let's say you have nothing better to do. You'll push the tower because you have nothing better to do, right? But very often, what I like to do is I like to actually go to the exact opposite side. So, like, let's say they push and then they roam bot. I want to push and
Yeah.
then I want to roam top. Because when I'm
Okay.
losing lane, I don't want to match the person who's way stronger than me, right?
Yeah,
Like,
not
it's going to
sure.
be hard. So I'd rather make a play somewhere else and try to get a lead. Now, this is going to come down to reading the scenario. So again, say that the Ryze was beating you and then he roams to your super fed bot lane. Go help your bot lane because they're super fed. You're probably still going to win, right? But if
Yeah.
he's roaming to your weak bot lane, or your Kale or whatever, you know, like that, then you'll go the other side. Does that make sense?
That's amazing. That's really good. That's a really good one, actually, because I used to try to take down the plates, and of course your team is gonna ping you like,
Yeah.
why you're not here, blah blah blah, mid lane gap, blah blah blah.
Okay, so I also want to explain this. So if you watch me play Syndra or Orianna, I would push the lane when they do that roam, and then I would push the plate. Because that's my champion's purpose. My champion's purpose is to get gold on myself, be selfish, 1v9 the game, carry. I don't give a fuck about anyone else. But
Okay.
you play Echo, you play Ari, you play Galio. These champions are gonna do what I said. Like with the push and then, you know, roam opposite side or play for your team.
Okay.
So it's champion dependent. When you're playing a champion like a mage or someone who's super gold reliant, you're gonna play more for your selfish, you know, gameplay and whatever. That makes sense?
Yeah, sure. That's amazing.
And then yeah, again here,
Well,
I don't actually.
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question actually, that it happens a lot here, because I really took really hard for me to understand what all the Nocturne was doing the whole match. Like, I don't know how to read like what is gonna the jungle be doing the next minutes,
Yeah.
or before. It's like I don't know how do you analyze that, the movements that jungle is gonna do, or maybe I just put the ward on the enemy camp, but I don't know how far to do anything else about that.
Okay, so we saw that we had a word on his blue buff at, the start of the game, so we know he started blue side, correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we know he
Exactly.
started blue side, which means he's going to go blue side to red side, and then he'll go back to blue side around 2:30. He'll go back to red side around 3:45, 4 minutes. He'll go back to blue side around 5 minutes, 5:30. Ideally, that's what he should do. And then from 5:30 onwards, we don't know where he's going to be. And so I'll write again.
Do I
These
have
timers
to
down.
remember
No,
those
remind
numbers?
me. I'll write these down for you. Again, remind me. We will write them down at the end. And I have videos on these timers, whatever. The reason I
Amazing.
mentioned this quick little thing is because all I need to know is I needed to know where he started, and I was able to tell you from this time he'll be there, this time he'll be there, and it's all a rough estimate if we don't see him, because sometimes jungles do something different.
Okay.
But that is the rough thing, is like that's how we know roughly where he is based on those timers of the jungle. However, in this scenario, he had ultimate. He could ult you from anywhere, right? Like you're in the mid lane, so he could ult you from wherever. And so we knew, like, there's always a chance he comes. So when we know there's a chance he comes, we have to determine whether or not it's important to be aggressive anyways, and whether or not we're okay with him ulting us. In this case, you had your ult, you had your flash, you had everything, and you wanted to get control of the wave, and if he did ult, then he doesn't have it for Dragon. So I am perfectly fine with what happened here. I was about to tell you right before you'd asked the question. I'm fine with this. Like, you lost your ultimate, you lost your flash. I don't care, because Nocturne had to use his ult right before the Dragon. That's a lot more valuable of an ultimate. And if he didn't use his ult on you, then you would have had control of the wave. So in this case, I was actually perfectly fine with it because you had your resources. Now, if you were doing that and you had no flash or whatever, or no ultimate, then, it'd be greedy, right? So.
Yes. Okay, that's great.
So basically, sorry to cut you off, but basically the main thing that you need to understand is if we know where the enemy jungle is, then of course we'll hover the side opposite of them or do whatever we can with the information we have. But if we don't know where he is, then we need to just assume that he can always gank us and play accordingly. So in this case, again, we were fine because we had the resources to escape and we knew we did. If you didn't have those resources and you don't know where he is, then we have to be a bit more scared.
Okay, that's perfect.
That was a weird rise ult. And so here at this point, your teammates come mid, I would start to go side lane a lot. So when you're like not having a super, and I'm fine with you trying to go to fight because you saw, but when you have a type of game where your teammates are doing well, again, your bot lane are doing super well, and they end up coming mid lane, I'm pretty fine with going to side lane very frequently now and just covering that. So I'm fine with you covering this mid wave because of course there's an ensemble, you want to get it. But right after this, you should start going to the sides. You can push this mid wave if you really want, I don't care. But after you push this mid wave, we need to spend time clearing side waves. And then the thing that we're going to do mid game as an echo is we're going to really quickly clear a mid wave, then we're going to rotate to a side wave, then we're going to clear mid wave, go to a side wave, etc, etc. So right now, again, you should go bot here. You see how bot lane is just completely, they're pushing, your mid laner or your ADC is in mid. Why would we be here, right? Like, we're just sharing gold, we're losing bot turret. So once the dragon spawns, basically, or once the dragon's killed, rather, that part of the game, we're fine with side laning if our teammates won't cover. Because again, this kill, even if you did get it, it didn't do anything for you. Losing the turret, that's obviously a lot more valuable. And then once the bottom wave is pushed, the same way as once the mid wave is pushed, you can then roam. So the same concept applies at all points of the game. If the waves are pushed, then you have the opportunity to move and roam. When the waves are not pushed, you need to push out those waves, and then you can roam or go somewhere else.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, actually, I have a question there because once the games, let me see what happened here. Okay, once the game it's going forward, if we have like the advantage of the towers because we have like a lot of advantage on the match. What should I do? Because if I try to push more the lanes, like I get like, these opportunities for the enemy to gank me or kill me. What do I do? I think that there is a point of the match that I get like with no idea of what should I do next.
Okay,
like,
so basically, when you're in advantage, main thing is we want the outer turrets killed. But what you're talking about is more once the outer turrets are dead, we have less to do. So initial thing, we want the outer turrets. Once those turrets are killed, the new goal becomes push the wave when it's at a neutral point because we're stronger, so we can go on the wave at a neutral point. Do you know what I mean when I say neutral? Like it's in the middle of the map.
Yeah.
Whether it's on the bottom side, middle, top, middle, but like just in the middle of the lane.
Yeah.
And then once we push it out of the middle of the lane, instead of going on another wave, we use the fact that it's pushed to go somewhere else. And then we just keep making this cycle of, you know, we go from one lane to the next. So instead of trying to push further and further with your lead, just use the fact that you have the waves pushing at all to give you an opportunity to roam and kind of stack a lane with more people. And then use, you know, since you're ahead, you're probably going to get some kills at some point. Once your team gets the kills, then you use that time to actually push the waves deeper rather than just pushing them past the midway point.
Okay, and just wait for the objectives, like...
Like, because, I mean, we're happy to just be ahead when the objective comes. Like, we don't need to push our lead, you know, to some absurd degree, because usually that leads to us throwing. So it's pretty much, yes, it's like, again, same concept. Push the wave, whether it's a side lane or a mid wave, rotate, push that wave when it's there, back and forth, and if a fight occurs in the middle of that, and it's an advantageous fight, we take it, and we're happy, and that's really all there is to it.
Okay, that's perfect. Do you think that at what point, or is it necessary to know like the whole items? You know, like
no,
I have read any of them, but you know, like some people know exactly how the opposite team is building, and I think that I know most of them, but like a 65% of the items that exist. Because
so pause here real quick, by the way.
Sure.
So what you did and I'll answer after. Sorry, I just want to mention this before I forget about it. So what you did topside was perfect. 40 seconds before an objective, you went, you push topside out to a neutral point, and then you roamed. So you would be doing the exact same thing. Like, this is what I'm talking about with what I want you doing in terms of side lane. I want you pushing out that side lane like you did here. You could have even, like, if the dragon wasn't spawning so soon, you could have pushed out one more top wave. As we see, it's kind of neutral. But since the dragon's spawning soon, I'm glad that you just rotated earlier. So I just wanted to mention, that's basically what I want you following that sequence very frequently.
I think...
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I think that I used to do that very often, but I got a lot of pains from my team because they always want me to fight. Like, they are always fighting the whole time, and like, you are not in the fight right now, you are pushing the lanes, but there are no objectives to fight. And so I don't really understand too well, because it gets me frustrated that I'm not helping my team.
So I have been rank 1 in Wild Rift solo queue. I would assume most Emerald or Diamond players would probably say I'm better than them, you know, and that I probably know more about the game than them. The reason I'm mentioning this is I've been smurfing because, you know, the challenge I've been doing. I don't know if you know, like, what I've been doing recently, right? Like playing on 5 accounts or whatever. So I've been playing in Emerald and Plat a little bit as I've climbed. And when I'm in Plat, my teammates are pinging me and blaming me. Like, Platinum peak players are blaming a player who's been rank 1 solo queue. So the point is, they have no idea. They're gonna blame literally anyone at this point. Like, it doesn't matter who you are or anything. They will blame you just regardless of what you're doing. So just completely ignore what they say. Don't listen to chat at all. And in terms of like when they're fighting, it is true that you need to group with your team at some points. So like this time, because the dragon was spawning so soon, it was good to group with your team because you wanted to be there because there's an objective. But if the dragon was spawning in 40 seconds, then it wouldn't matter, because if your teammates die, the death timers would be shorter than 40 seconds at this point in the game. So you wouldn't really have an issue there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so then on to the item thing. Main things you need to understand. For Echo, I'm going to write down the exact specific build for you every game, and then I'm going to write down a couple situational items. The situational items for Echo are anti-shield, anti-heal, and I guess you could kind of go Rift Maker if they're really tanky, but it's really anti-shield, anti-heal. Most of the time, if you don't need one of those two, you're just going to go the other default stuff that I'll write down for you. And as a more general thing, of course, it's nice to know exactly how the enemy are building, because it's just easier to counter build then. But counter building is generally not, there's just a couple of main things you need to understand. Like, you need to understand, you know, what anti-shield is and how it works in the enemy, anti-healing, and then armor and magic resist. If you understand these things, you're going to be good 95% of the time. The time where you see like top players, you know, being like, oh, there's these super specific things, so I'm going to do this. Those things they kind of have diminishing returns in terms of how important it is to learn. So if I'm, you know, the best player in the world, it's important for me to know all these little things because it's going to increase my win rate by
Yeah.
0.01%. And since I'm already I'm not the best, hypothetical. Since I'm the best
Yeah.
player in the world, it means that, you know, I only have very, very few things to improve on. But initially, the things you need to improve on a lot more are the things we've mentioned in this video. You know, the
Okay.
pushing before roaming, the making sure we don't over push into hard lane matchups early on in the game, understanding we want to recall around, you know, mana boots, we want to understand our champion strength, which in this case is pushing and roaming, roam with our jungle, roam to laners that are stronger, roam to laners that have better gank setup and CC, basic jungle tracking, all of these things, and then again rotating with our team after we push out the lane, not before, like side laning before objectives. These are the things that matter a lot more, and that's the stuff you have to improve on before you even give a fuck about anything more than default building, and then the very simple counter items of obviously armor and MR, anti-shield, anti-heal. That's generally mostly what you need to know.
Okay, that's right. I used to use your last build, like when you got the rank at 1 Echo.
Yeah.
I just copied that. Actually, you were on the list of the top 3 builds.
Yeah.
So I think that was a great build. I think that it went pretty well on the matchup that I had, because I really like the book. I think it's Soul Stealer or
Yeah.
something like that. But now, what do you think about that? Because some people are like buying the orb first.
Yeah, so basically
Rather.
there's two things you do with Echo. You either do Lichbane Infinity Orb or you do Lichbane Soul Stealer. Lichbane Infinity Orb, more burst damage, better for one-shotting. Soul Stealer, better in terms of ult cooldown and just cooldowns in general. Like, that's more useful for that. Really, really dependent on what you prefer. Super fine with either. And then third item Death Cap, fourth item Crown most games, and then fifth item would be, if you win Orb second, it would be Soul Stealer fifth. If you win Soul Stealer second, it would be Orb fifth. And then again,
Okay.
fourth and fifth, the only things you'll switch is anti-shield or anti-heal instead of those items if you need it. And again, I'll
Yeah,
write this down for you.
sadly, actually, I've been having like a lot of matchups, no more, no longer than 15 or 16 minutes. I think that it's not even common now to reach like the 6th item now, because like the matchups are really fast now with the turret update.
Yeah, and the reason you're not breaching these items is because you're not farming well with this in mind. So this is a game where you're 2-1-1, and generally you got lucky. Like, your team is much better than the enemy. Like, the reason you're going to lose this game is mostly you, which is not an insult. It's just, that's just what's happening. And even in this game, you're 780, 770 gold per minute. My gold per minute, I played from Diamond to Master on my mid lane account, and I'm playing Syndra, so it's a little different, right? But my gold per minute, I think, is like 980. So you're missing out on a bunch of gold in just like the mid game, even in a game that's favorable for you, which obviously it's easier to gold in this type of game. So the main issue for you is that you're not reaching those spikes. But when I am in a 15-minute game, I'm reaching these spikes, and that's like an important thing to understand. If you need anti-shield because they have a bunch of shielding, you can go at second item instead. But typically you should be able to reach fourth, fifth item in a lot of games. Some games are very snowbally, this is true.
Yeah.
But if you're playing the game properly, a lot of times they're not going to snowball out of control the same way that people act like. Like, the reality is games used to probably be 17, 18-minute average. Now they're like 15, 16. It's not anything that different. It's a couple minute different, maybe, you know.
Okay. I felt it the opposite. Like I felt like the all the matches are ending up like really fast.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But even I'm just saying, even if they do end fast, if you're farming properly, you're still going to hit these spikes. You know, 15 minutes is enough time, for example, to be hitting 4 items in a lot of games that are going well. And so the point is, if you're farming properly, you're pushing your wave and you're side laning more frequently, instead of like grouping, you know, mid so much and this type of thing, we're probably going to have more ability to hit these items, you know, more frequently. So.
Okay.
And honestly, I don't really hate how you played the fight. You missed your ult. I see what you're looking for there.
Yeah.
Are you duo with the Yumi? Why is she on you like 24/7?
What? Sorry?
Are you duo with the Yumi?
Duo? No.
Duo.
No, I was queuing.
Okay, because
so
I'm just super confused why the Yumi has been on you the whole game. Like,
Yeah.
like she should be on the misfortune.
Yeah, it's
even,
funny.
like, that's why I was just wondering. I wasn't sure. But no, like, I'm fine with how you play the fight, and I think your mechanics and the way you play the fights for the most part, like, seems pretty fine. That's not really like a big issue overall.
Yeah.
So
It's a good point. Like I was asking myself the same thing about the Yumi that
yeah.
match. Because
Okay,
I
pause
think
here
that
by the
I
way.
was the second in gold from in the team.
Yeah.
That's why maybe.
Pause here. Pause here. Um. So this is also, again, I've been playing in lower ranks a lot. This is the most common thing that I see. Do you see what's wrong with the map right now?
Yeah, I could have pushed the turret, right?
This is okay. So not just your mistake. What mistake is every single player we currently see on our map is making the same mistake?
Yeah, I saw like trying to save me Thornton because I knew that.
No, but what is the mistake? I'm asking you. What is the mistake? Why is everyone in the wrong place? Where should they be?
On the Baron, right?
Yes, the Baron side. Everyone is
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
wrong side. And so I get it. You're like, oh, I want to go help Misfortune. Everyone else is doing it. I don't give a fuck. Push your mid wave and then get pressure around Baron. So
But I can't do anything about Baron. I'm just
you can't
echo
do anything about Baron.
all.
Okay, so what you can do about Baron is you can push the mid wave. What pushing the mid wave does is it usually draws someone to you. It makes someone have to go to mid. They show themselves, you get vision. What you can do after that, ideally, you go and you ward the Baron. Let's see, do we have a ward right now?
Yeah.
Your word's about to come up. You're about to have a word. So you have a word, so then we can get a word on Baron. What can we do after we word the Baron? Well, we see everyone on bottom lane, right? So we can go and push out the top wave. Then the top wave is pushing. So now we would have a mid wave pushing, so the enemy have to go there, respond, or they lose gold. We have a top wave pushing, the enemy have to go there, respond, or they lose gold. We have word on Baron, so if the enemy go Baron, we're aware of it. And we're on the Baron side, which means if we see, let's say here in this fight, one of the enemy dies, and the rest are alive, and your team loses the fight, and now you're 2v4, and the enemy are going to Baron.
Yeah, exactly.
You can easily get a W on it, stun someone, and then poke them out, and then you still have your ult, you're going to be chilling, like, you're going to be able to zone them. But if you do what you're doing here, if you go here and you die, you lose the Baron. So the difference is you can guarantee that you don't lose the Baron if you push out mid wave, and you know what else you do there? You get guaranteed gold. So instead of your gold per minute, again, as we talked about as an issue, you'd get that mid wave gold. You might even get that mid turret, because that mid turret you possibly could kill. And so you were right about talking about that. Like, that's a possibility. I'm fine with you looking for that after you push mid. And then you use the fact that you push the mid wave to go into the top side, go into the Baron. So yeah.
Okay, that's perfect. Actually, I was thinking about pushing the turret, but I saw like, well, if I help this person, that is the one that is more fed, and she will still like the Baron and blah blah. But maybe that wasn't like the best option. I didn't know that you could be pushing like a wave that is already pushed, if you know like everyone is on the other side.
Yeah, so that's like the time, because you'll see me sometimes greed waves where you're like, why is Talon being greedy? They're just walking even further. The reason is because, yeah, I know people are on the opposite side, and so like I'm confident, whereas if I didn't know where people were, I would never go on that top wave. And then going on that top wave means that the enemy will lose gold because it goes under their turret.
Yeah.
Or they come and they try to stop you. And like, you're an Echo with a flash and an ult. Like, you're not going to die. If you do die, you're trolling. So you also have to understand your champion. Like, if you're, you know, again, if you're a squishy Orianna with no flash and no cleanse, I would push the mid wave, get word on Baron. I wouldn't go top side because that'd be too dangerous. But because you're Echo, you can do that. So you can play the replay, but yeah, that's just basically the main thing. Loading? That was weird. Oh, you must have accidentally like reset. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Did you skip? Did you fast forward or did you? No, this is. No, yeah. Okay, I got confused. Yeah, we're good. And so yeah, basically what ends up happening, we all chase everyone, and now we hope that we win the fight. If we win the fight, great, and if we don't, then it sucks. And if we go 1 for 1, then we get absolutely nothing out of it because one person died. You know, I guess you get a shutdown, but it doesn't really matter. And so yeah, now like nothing's pushing, you're getting no gold out of this, you're still on the wrong side of the map. The enemy could sneak Baron. Like, another thing is, watch my stream today. I think I snuck like 4 Barons. I played for 6 hours. I snuck like 4 in 4 separate games. I snuck Barons against high elo players too. Like, there's some sovereigns I'm doing it against. Like, this is just a common thing you can do right now in this patch because you get control of the Baron. You have no idea if they're on Baron. Again, they're not because they're low elo shitters, but they could have snuck the Baron on you, and you would have no idea. Very common
because
people can do.
Has no too much HP, right?
What? Yeah, the Baron doesn't have that much HP. Is that what you asked? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's really easy to kill. And then here you go and chase a Garen instead of going and pushing that top wave. You're chasing a Garen who's full health, with W, with Gargoyle, with everything. I don't care if you eventually kill him. I would have rather pushed the top wave. I would be totally
Yeah.
happy with him being alive to just get that top wave pushed, because then we could go and fight him afterwards. We don't need to constantly be and now you're chasing into their jungle instead of pushing the top wave again. So we're just forcing a bunch of fights. Mid wave too, right? Like both waves. You see how they're neutral? We can easily get these pushing. Instead, now you just go and force a random Baron without having waves pushed. Obviously, we could have just pushed these waves out and then done it. And again, it works because again, Baron very squishy. You can get value out of it. But yeah, we just need a bigger focus on waves in the mid game. Is kind of the gist of it.
So you think that my main issue is like farming, right? Like pushing waves and looking out.
Your main issue in the mid game, which is past 6 minutes when dragon spawns. Yes, it is that you don't push out your waves before doing things, and that you also overgroup instead of side laning when you can. Your main issue in the early game, which in my opinion is a bigger issue, is the fact you don't understand your champion's purpose is, again, to mostly push and roam. You don't want to lane a lot, and you also don't understand how to lane on your champion, which again is actually not your champion, it's more just you don't understand how to lane, which is trading around level advantages, trading when you have the wave pushing, and respecting them when they have the wave pushing and you have the level advantage, that type of thing. So.
Okay. I didn't know what I do here. Yeah, because I lost my ult. I don't. There it was.
Yeah, I mean, it is, again, these are the types of things I'm not concerned with. You make a little bit of a mistake mechanically so you don't kill someone, it's like, that's going to happen, and the more you play the champ, the better you get at that. Again, the issue is all these other things that I'm a lot more concerned with, because you can always improve on Echo just by playing him more.
Yeah.
So. And yeah,
Actually,
he's really greedy, but
yeah.
might work out though. Yeah, so that kind of worked out anyway, but yeah, you're just greedy. I mean, you have no ult, and you're going into champions with a lot of burst damage. Like, Ryze has a lot of burst damage.
Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't analyze the champion itself because I'm not used to go against a Ryze. So
yeah, Ryze can basically reset. I forget. It's like he can reset his Q by using E or something. There's something, or like he needs like the frost on people. I actually forget exactly how it works. So again, like I don't even know how every champion works perfectly, as you can see. I just know the champion strengths, right? So it's like I don't necessarily know the exact Ryze abilities he's using. What I do know is he can reset his Q cooldown, which is his like main damaging ability, by doing something, which means if I walk up at him, he's gonna burst me down because he has really good sustained DPS for a mage. And so just understanding that is like I know I can't just go jump on a Ryze for no reason.
So if you see a Ryze on the other team on the draft. The draft moment. What do you do? I mean, if you only have 3 champions on your pool, on your champion pool, what do you choose? Or your 3 champs need to be like counter of everything, or
no?
What?
Like,
What do you?
your 3 champions can, and also again, just very greedy here. You're getting very greedy very often.
Yeah.
But your 3 champions can be whatever the fuck you feel like. I used to one-trick Jace for a very long time, and I would lock in Jace in a Malphite, which is the hardest counter you could possibly think of. Probably one of the hardest counter matchups in the entire game that I could think of. And I would shit on them most of the time, because I know how to play the champion. I don't care if you know how, or if you are countered, just learn how to play the matchup. Every matchup, if you understand your strengths and the enemy strengths and weaknesses and whatever, you're fine. So, for example, this game, Ryze's strengths are that he has high burst damage, and he's just generally going to be able to out-trade you. Your strengths
can you hear me?
What's up? Yeah, I hear you.
Colin?
Yeah. Hello? Do you hear me?
Hello?
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
You hear
Yeah, I
me?
lost you for
Okay.
a second.
So to get back to what I was saying, so we're good now, right? Just wanna, are we good?
Yeah.
Okay. So to get back to what I was saying, sorry. Basically, regardless of whether the matchup is good or bad, we need to understand just our strengths of it. It doesn't matter if we're picking a champion that gets countered by the other enemy champion. We almost always have an avenue to win, and all we need to do is find that avenue. So I'd rather have a small champion pool where we understand the exact avenue we can go through to win, rather than play a champion who does really well into the enemy champions, but I don't know how the fuck to play that champion. So with Echo, for example, into Ryze, you're not countered at all, by the way. This isn't the counter matchup. All you have to do is you have to understand your champion wants those short trades with you where you can quickly proc your passive, and you want to use the fact that you have better wave clear than him to at some point get a level diff and then use that wave pushing to either trade if you see a really good trade angle, or usually get the wave pushing so you can roam and then just play to roam. If we understand that our champion does that well, we're going to be fine in any matchup. Echo's really good at living on any matchup because he can push the wave really well and then just roam, so he can ignore lane most of the time.
So you can blind pick Echo without any.
You can blind pick Echo. I mean, I did for a while, like when I was getting rank 1 on him. You can blind pick any champ though. Maybe I cut out when I was saying this. I one-tricked Jace for a long time. Jace is not a good blind pick. Like, he's very counterable. He has a lot of bad matchups. And I one-tricked him to Challenger when Challenger was the highest rank of the game. Only played him every matchup. I would play him with full AD comps because I would play him mid lane. I would play him when the enemy picked Malphite, other hard count. Doesn't matter. I would win. I wouldn't win every game. You know, I think my win rate on him at that time was maybe 56, 57%. I don't know. But I'd win enough to climb. And that's all we're looking to do, is get a champion that we're good enough that we can win. In your case, you know, you're at 48% win rate last season. We probably want to aim to maybe hit 52, 53, you know, and just slowly inch it up from there.
And what happened with the like the team comes? You don't like.
I don't care.
It doesn't matter to you if the enemy team had like a really good comp and
don't give a shit.
Don't give a shit.
No, like, dude, they suck. Like, again, they are very bad. And I know I'm like very like, you know, maybe aggressive when I'm saying that. I don't know, but they're awful. They're horrible. They have no idea what they're doing. So it's like, okay, great. Like, you know, you have like a $200,000 car that can go really fast, but you don't have your driver's license. Like, that's really cool. You have no idea how to use the car, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't function properly. Like, I'd rather have, you know, a $5,000. I'd rather have, you know, a NASCAR driver driving a $5,000 car than, you know, a 14-year-old girl who doesn't know how to drive driving the most expensive perfect car in the world. You know, like, that's what matters. And so in terms of this analogy, I just need you to know how to drive your car and how it works and how it operates and know everything about it, rather than trying to learn every single aspect of every champion and learn how to play every different matchup and counter everyone perfectly. That's just what matters a lot more, which is why I want you to stick to 2 or 3 champions. If you want to right now, you can tell me the 2 or 3 champions you're going to stick to and only play those basically always. If you want to decide later, you know, that's up to you, but I would say that's optimal.
Well, I think that thinking about like every season I try to add one more champion to my expertise. So that's what I tried with Echo last season, and it went horrible because I was learning the actual champ. So maybe this is the season where I can try to master it up, and I can stick to Airy and maybe I don't know. I think that of course I have my looks, but it's like some kind of boring. I used to have like one season with Zoe that I really loved that champ, and Irelia. Irelia, it doesn't seem like too strong right now, but maybe could be an option. But I think that Echo is a really good one. I always wanted to play Akali. Of course, it's like my loving champ, but it's really hard to win with that champion.
Okay, so yeah, there's 2 options here. The option that helps you climb the most is you play Echo Ahri and maybe like Lux if like those 2 are banned.
Okay.
And the other option is, which again, this is what I actually did with Jace. So again, to give an example myself, I was a 44% win rate after 200 games with Jace. Because this champ's very hard and I was bad at it. And I said, I don't care, I'm going to grind him until I get good enough. And I got rank 1 on him and he's pretty much my best champion now. Haven't played him a lot recently, but I did for a super, super long time. Used him to climb to top 5 on the server, stuff like that. So either you just obsess over one champion or you do the easier thing of climbing, you know? And that's ultimately up to you in terms of, you know, do you want to kind of play champs you like Ahri and Echo that you know you can climb on better? Or do you want to just obsess over Akali? That's up to you.
No, I think it's okay to. I really want to reach like a high level with Echo.
Then I would say let's do Ahri Echo. Let's spam those champions this season. It's already been an hour because we actually just went a lot more in depth on that game than you know normal. Like normally I go over 2 replays. It takes longer, or it takes shorter for each game. So I think it might be better to just go into notes here. We pretty much talked over everything that we needed to. Realistically, we go and watch another replay of yours and we'd see the exact same mistakes and I'd just repeat myself. I don't think that'd be super useful because I think, again, we went into a lot of detail here. So I think, can I just share my screen with you, write notes out, and then give you these notes and kind of...
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I have to open Discord right now.
Yeah,
Stop the screen sharing.
yeah, you saw. And then let me know when you see my screen as well.
Mm-mm. Okay, now I can see your screen.
You see it? Okay, cool.
You can share me your video, right?
The video, yeah,
Because
I'll
I
probably
think
upload it in like 2 days, and it'll be on my YouTube. Is that cool?
okay, yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Because I didn't record anything.
Yeah. So it should be. It should be. I'll make sure I was recording because sometimes. So yeah. So it seems I was recording. So unless, I mean, every once in a while my files weirdly, do some weird stuff. So if that doesn't happen, I'm sorry if it does. But if it doesn't happen, I'll upload it. It won't be out tomorrow. It'll be out the day after because I have a video uploading there. So yeah,
Okay.
there's that. Going into this, then we're just gonna go over the notes, talk about the main things that we spoke about throughout the gameplay. Anytime that something I say doesn't make sense or you have a question or whatever, just interrupt me. Obviously, the goal
Okay.
is to just help you, so it doesn't matter. So starting off with the early game, the first thing is respect strong early level 1 or strong early game champs. Level
That
1, yeah, what's up?
I'm just gonna understand that by playing the champ, right? Because
Yeah,
I don't have
yeah, like
knowledge.
you'll mess up, you'll die sometimes in a late
Yeah.
matchup, and it's fine because we're spamming only Echo and only Ari, so we're gonna know those matchups. So it doesn't matter if like we die one time. It's just all I want is, let's say you play really aggro into Rise, you got solo killed by Rise here really early. All I want
Yeah.
is for that to not happen a second time. So let's say the
Okay.
same thing happens. You go and you lane a Yasuo, you get shit on by Yasuo. That's fine as long as the second time the same mistake doesn't happen. That's because then just naturally, the more and more mistakes we make, the less mistakes we're going to make in the future. But if we spam at a bunch of different champions, it just takes way longer, which is why
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. Sure.
simpler to just spam one. So, and
Yeah.
then also do not spam Q until we can get a last hit,
Okay.
level 1, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing. Then understand, look for mana boots recall. Then once coming back to lane, play to push and roam. Only trade when we can proc passive. Generally, do not play for lane. Play to push and roam. Push wave before roaming, kind of same thing, but just want to make sure that's very clear. Make sure we push our wave before roaming. And then the thing we mentioned, roam with jungle, ideally. Roam to strong lane.
What do you do?
Yeah.
You don't like get full of so many information inside the game that like you just get
Overwhelmed?
Yeah.
So the way that I've approached improving, so I've played this game for 4 years, for 3 years streaming it, for an average of probably 4 or 5 hours a day, for again 3 years straight plus the time. So I've played this game an absurdly long amount. The way I approach things is not to try to be the best or to get perfect at anything. I don't care. I'm purely competing against myself always.
Okay.
And
That's
so
good.
as it relates to that, basically what I do is I find one thing to work on. I try to obsess over getting that one thing perfect, whether it's, let's say, and it's really specific. So it's like, again, it's like the points I'm giving you. So I say, generally only trade when we can proc our passive. So I'm basically going to go and do an entire game or entire 5 games or 10 games, however long it takes me to feel like I understand this perfectly, to just only trade around my passive. So every time I'm like, did I make the trade around my passive? Yes, no, that simple. It's very, very simple. And then once I've done that, now I'm like, okay, I know that. That's kind of a habit. I'm going to think about it naturally now. So now I don't have to think about that in my mind. It's more just going to be a habit. So now I'm going to go into the next 10 games and I'm going to think, I need to push my wave before I roam, and then I'm just going to do that. And I'll usually find 1 or 2 things that apply to the early game and then 1 or 2 things that apply to the late game. That way I can think about 2 things, per game, right? I go into one game, first 5 minutes, push, or roam with my jungle or whatever it is. Next 10 minutes, make sure I'm focusing on my side laning better. And that way I don't overwhelm myself because I'm only focused on those 2 things. So if I fuck up my team fights, I die a bunch, I throw the game, I don't care. I mean, obviously I do care, but like, it's not a problem in terms of improvement because I pushed my wave or I traded around my passive like I was wanting to,
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. That's
Okay.
perfect. Okay.
So yeah, then the thing here, and again, continue to interrupt me if you have questions because it doesn't
Sorry.
matter.
Yeah,
But
sorry.
roam with jungle ideally. Roam with our strong laner, roam to laners with good gank setup, and then yeah, push the lane before roaming. So this is basically like the checklist we go through. Again, remember, not all four have to be true, but the more the better, right?
Yeah, sure.
Ideally. So early game, yeah, the main thing for you was, did we talk about the level diffs? Did I? No, I did not. So do not trade when enemy are up a level.
Yeah, the level thing is very
Yeah,
hard for me.
and try trading when we are up a level. So if the
Yeah.
level thing is very hard for you, this might be one of those things that I mentioned
I
where you're
I
just
don't even
obsessing.
I
Yeah,
don't even know why is the level so hard for me to watch.
it's fine. But again, it's because you haven't built it as a habit. You haven't specifically thought about it. Like maybe you've
Yeah,
been, you just don't specifically think about it. I think it's just that simple.
yeah,
Any normal human, they have a hard focus on one thing and they're gonna be able to figure it out and build it as a habit. The problem is just
yeah,
playing on autopilot, not playing for a super specific purpose, and that's obviously what the coaching is for. I can give you these really specific things to improve on. And
yeah.
so
Thanks.
after I write out the rest of the notes, I'm gonna tell you which ones to do first, and which
Okay.
we'll figure that out. Um, but yeah, so early game, level diffs, proc passive, don't be over aggro level 1, find a recall on mana boots, push way before roaming, and then the different things to keep track of with roaming on jungle on point 6. That's probably the early game for you in a nutshell. I think you
Okay.
did a fine job of pushing before objectives, right? So we'll mention this. I mean, like push waves before objectives. Um, pretty simple. I think you understand this point, but still
Yeah.
good to mention. You actually did a really good job of it, like on Second Dragon, for example. The main thing is once our team starts grouping mid, we want to side lane,
Yeah. That's a good, really good one.
and then follow the cycle of push out, of pushing out a lane, um, past the midway point or past the neutral point. Do you know what I mean when I say neutral point?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then going to another lane and doing the same, and basically going back and forth until objective is spawning. And again, this can obviously, like, in between this, you might find a quick kill, right? Like you might push the mid
Yeah.
wave and then you're roaming bot and you're gonna go there because you see a kill. So it doesn't always have to be just pushing the wave, but kind of want our waves pushed before we do everything. And
Yeah.
then make sure to be on the side of Baron when it is spawning. Very just
Even
simple.
even if my team isn't nearby or anything, right?
So a very common thing that happens on this patch is that Baron and Dragon, the second Dragon and the first Baron, they spawn at like a very similar time. And I have found very, very frequently what happens is my teammates, they all try to go Dragon, and I'm worried about Baron. So what
Yeah.
I do to fix this, I push my mid wave ideally, and then I get a ward on Baron. It's that simple. Because now if I have a ward on Baron, I'm gonna see if the enemy go there. So I can go to the Dragon with my team after I push out the wave and ward Baron. So, and then if I see the enemy there, I go and punish Baron. And I also spam ping
Yeah.
Baron. So basically, I'll write this, right, to help our team be
This is all
aware.
because
Yeah.
the weaker Baron, right? Because
This was
in
this was always the sequence you followed. It was just
okay.
at 12 minutes instead of 11 minutes because Baron spawns at 11 instead of 12 now. And
Yeah.
the Baron didn't spawn at a similar time to Dragon, so this timer wasn't an issue. So the timing has switched, but the concept is still the same where you want to be on Baron when it spawns. You don't have to kill Baron when it spawns, but you need vision on Baron, you need awareness of the Baron, you need control over the mid wave. So that type of thing. But
Do,
yeah,
do,
yeah, go ahead.
do you need to worry about like the most OP champions now with the Blood Thrister and stuff?
What would
Or
you have to worry
like,
about?
uh, I mean like they are OP or like if there is any situation where I can be aware of of any ADC that is too strong right now because of the new items or stuff.
What are you gonna do about it? Like, what aware? Like, aware of what? Like, this is like, okay, the champ is strong. I know it's strong. Okay,
Like
it
not
doesn't
trying
do anything for us.
to force a fight or anything.
Yeah, so if you're in a fight and someone is strong and you think you can kill them, you kill them. Like, I know I'm really oversimplifying it, but it really is this simple. So I don't care if it's, you know, a fed Vayne or a fed Corki. Corki's really broken right now. Vayne's not that good right now. Either way, if they're fed, they are a problem. And if I think I can kill them, I will kill them.
Okay.
So there's no one you need to necessarily be aware of, is the point.
Okay.
It's more so just target priority in fights. You know, you target the strong member if you think you can kill them, or you pick off the, you know, the enchanter support who might be, you know, healing them or whatever. But yeah, that's really the main thing. It is important to know that, like, try to be aware of when they have Bloodthirster because of the lifeline passive. Because if you go on someone, you're going to be surprised by the fact that they have the shield, for example. But that's really the main thing. Just the shield.
Okay. Okay.
But anyways, yeah. And again, keep it. I'm happy for you to interrupt. I know it feels kind of weird when I'm talking and you interrupt me, so I just want to make sure that you're aware. I'm happy for you to ask as many questions as you have.
Yeah. Like I'm really full of questions, and I'm very sorry for
Yeah,
interrupting
no,
you.
that's a good thing. I'm not. That's a good thing to be aware, have a lot of questions and to ask about them. You should ask whatever. I mean, you know, that's kind of the purpose of this time anyway. But the next thing, yeah, to help our team be aware of Baron, we were saying basically push mid wave before objective, before Baron, and ward it. That way, if enemies sneak it, we can see.
I'm very used to like change the word to the red
The
trinket.
sweeper or the red, yeah, gotcha.
So do you recommend me to keep on
Always keep
using?
yellows. Yes, always keep yellows.
Yes, always.
Always. If you're jungle, you can go sweeper, obviously. If you're any other lane, always go yellow unless they have like an Evelyn.
Okay. With a ping word, right?
Yeah.
With Evelyn. Okay.
Yeah, Evelyn,
That's
I think that
because
maybe Timo.
I was trying like flanking with Airy, and I use a lot of sweeper to make sure there are no any wards around. So that worked for me a lot. But if you tell me that it's better to have like the
So
normal ward.
this is the type of thing where like there's benefits to both. Like you're right, like you can find nice flank angles on assassins. You can do these other things. But if I'm pushing out my wave, and then I'm getting vision on the Baron, I'm getting vision past the Baron.
Exactly.
This just makes it way easier, like for me.
Sure.
Yeah, and sweeper, like I have to face check then. You know, into a bush, I might get caught. So you can have, you know, your preference if you prefer that. It's not like you're gonna lose the game.
No, it's okay. I'm just trying to understand like so.
Yeah. No. I'm making the statement as in I'm telling you like it's not the end of the world. I'm pretty sure that I would climb the exact same way if I took sweepers whenever you take sweepers.
Okay.
Like the point is, I think it's a minor thing. I think these words are better. Like I think I would rather take words, but I don't think it like changes the outcome of most games.
Okay, perfect. That's amazing.
Yeah, these are the main things that I can think of. So do you have more questions or just anything else we talked about?
No. I think I'm really okay with that.
Okay. But if you do have more questions, it's fine. By the way, I just talk loudly or like kind of, you know, I'm not.
No.
I just want to make sure I don't come across like.
I think that I'm not. Maybe if I'm losing, like my whole team is losing. What do I should do to try to like change the way of the match?
Yeah. So
when
losing heavily, play around gold bounties and opposite side plays. So
do you think that in patch is it possible to counter back, like
to come back?
Yeah.
I mean, the video I'm uploading tomorrow, we come back down from an absolutely absurd amount of gold.
Whoa, that's great.
So, but I've had an absurd amount of comebacks already this season. Like just crazy gold graphs going from 10k down to we win, you know, up 5k. Like there's a lot of swings. It's nothing different. Gold bounties are OP. The first Baron is really easy to sneak, which means a lot of times you can end up using it as a comeback angle. And the first Baron's also not, like, the first Baron's not game losing because it's 30 seconds shorter and the minions are weaker. So I think the minions are weaker. It's at least 30 seconds shorter. And so you can a lot of times, like, the enemy go first Baron and you're losing, you know there's no way you can contest. Just go to the other side and just get, like, a gold bounty on a turret get some gold to yourself. Now that alone is not going to win you the game, but what it's going to do is it's going to get you strong enough to where now if the enemy do throw one time, then you're strong enough to catch it, and then at that point the game swings for you. So basically the main thing to do to come back is play opposite side a lot. So if the enemy are, you know, making a play bot side, try to play around top side, play around gold bounties, play around pushing out your waves. Focus on just getting yourself to that point, because again, you hit your death cap on Echo, for example, all of a sudden you can kind of 1v9 games a lot of time. And then look for these random, you know, sneaky plays on a Baron when the enemy aren't aware, because you can flip a Baron. Like, you're happy to flip objectives when you're behind, right? So
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I did the build thing as well, unless you have anything else, but
No. Okay. That's
yeah.
that's all.
I forgot to mention the build stuff. So Echo build, basically, I can't type, geez. Mana boots, Lich Bane, and then do you prefer Infinity Orb or Soul Stealer? Like, honestly, you can do either. Do you have a preference from what you played so far?
Well, I really love the Soul Stealer because of the
So let's
ult.
do Soul Stealer second. Death cap.
I was really concerned about how powerful the orb could be right now with the update.
It really didn't get buffed that much. It actually got, I would say, Infinity Orb is nerfed for champions like Echo, and it's buffed for champions like Syndra or Orianna, because it's less burst damage, which means a champion who's really just trying to one shot, not gonna get as much value, but a champion who might like kill someone from range and then the effect might actually get value is gonna get more value from it. So for me, I actually think it might even be nerfed for Echo.
Whoa, so Soul Stealer will be better.
It's probably very similar, to be clear. Like, Infinity Orb now versus before, very similar, regardless. But yeah, I would say this is good. And so then for this build, so then situational items, do you know what the item, or the, I can't type. Do you know what the item, the anti-heal items are, and the anti-shield items?
Yeah, the mana, the, how do you call it? Malmortius?
Yeah.
Mid
Wait, no, what?
Malmortius?
Malmortius? Oh, you mean
No,
Morellonomicon. Morellonomicon.
That one.
And then, yes, and then Oceanite Trident is the anti-shield. So
Yeah.
basically just situational items, anti-heal or anti-shield. If needed, I think you can obviously tell when you need anti-heals when they have healing. Anti-shield.
And the crown,
shielding.
right? And the crown, like the shielding crown, isn't
Crown
that
is a default item for you. Like, this item is always really good for you.
Okay.
So you should get it anytime you can. The only time you don't get it is when you need anti-heal and anti-shield. And so basically replace 4th and 5th items with these if needed. So basically your first 3 items are almost always Lich Bane, Soul Stealer, Death Cap, and then after that, Crown and Infinity Orb can switch to anti-heal or anti-shield if you need it, and if not, then you just go those. And then lastly, every once in a while they'll have so much shielding that you need anti-shield second, so then just skip Soul Stealer, you know, go Lich Bane, Soul Stealer, Death Cap, or go Lich Bane, anti-shield, Death Cap, but that's very rare.
Okay. And runes?
Yeah. So for lane, runes, obviously Fleet, Null Orb, Second Wind, what's the last one for you? Perseverance / Overgrowth. Do you know the difference between Perseverance and Overgrowth?
Yeah, I think that I have those from your last one rank Echo build, I think.
Yeah, these would be the typical runes.
Okay.
Any other questions or anything?
The cleanse, is that okay to always have it? Or like, do you prefer like exhaust or?
Usually take Ignite when possible, but cleanse if they have a bunch of CC.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ignite is ideal, because you're an assassin trying to one-shot people. It gives you a lot more pressure. So I only really take cleanse if they have a bunch of CC. Like, even the game you played in, I probably would have taken Ignite, but like, that's a game where I could see cleanse being good. For me, cleanse is like Vi, you know, like they have like Vi, they have Lysandra, that type of stuff. So
okay. Well, I think that'd be all.
Okay, then I'll send you these notes. And yeah, the video will be uploaded not tomorrow morning, but the next, unless something happens, I'll let you know if that changes. But yeah, other than that, see you later and good luck.
Yeah, thank you very much, Talon. I hope you have another session next month. Is that okay too?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Awesome. Thank you, Talon. See if I can improve by a month.